Curren Caples, and he was a force to be reckoned with in Barcelona as well. We are going to start off with Andy Mack, one of 4 athletes who has been to every single X Games. That is a credit to him. It's also with Dennis McCoy, Bob Burnquist, and Rune Glifberg, who's also in this heat. Funny enough, Andy Mack with the Smith grind in the deep end.
And that's where he feels comfortable, right there in the deep end with the vert, even though there's not much vert there, so it's hard to blast arrows.
Now, Andy's one of those guys that has his run and pretty much sticks to it every single time.
Yeah, he's definitely he's planned this out. And oh, nice! It's the first transfer we've seen from the deep end to the over the spine.
Tershy had a couple of slams in Barcelona, but don't worry about that. He's going to come out strong right now, and he's already looking a lot more confident. Unfortunately, just jumping off there. We've got plenty of time in heat number 2. Top 3 skaters from each. Oh, Ben Hatchell going straight up. Backside out over the channel. 50-50 for a stale fish, slapping that tail down.
He's changing up a bit. Usually you see him get more technical and not really worried about his height so much, and here he's blasting on the mini part.
Second transfer. Oh, we haven't seen that. It's a creative little line.
I don't think that was intended to be jumped when they built that.
I don't think a lot of the things that he does is intended to be done whatsoever.
Now it looks like, whoa, going for a nose guard. I don't think the end of that run was planned out. Like he kind of ended up there by accident.
I mean, for a guy that's had food poisoning a couple of days ago, he seems to be doing fine. Rune Glifberg right in now.
Huge tail grab there, smacking the tail down. Bring it back to the 90s. Look how much speed Rune gets through these corners.
I was out there with him yesterday, and he always seems to have runs planned, but he always puts the time in and really checks out the course and knows every sort of transition and bank. And
I think that's a safety, so that if he does end up somewhere he didn't plan to, he has a backup.
Miss Jordan is down at the skateboard park. You're going to report on Mr. Little Curren Caples himself.
I do. Well, you know, he gave Pedro a run for his money in Barcelona, and he said he was a lot more comfortable on that course than he is here, but he was learning from watching the other guys, and he's got to flip his board more. And I was just talking to his dad, Evan Caples, the professional surfer, and he said, yeah, I've been giving my son a lot of advice, but we'll see if he listens, guys.
Thanks, Jordan. Curren, I don't know if he will listen. He might. He's an unbelievable skateboarder. We've seen him trying some really difficult flip maneuvers out there, and we'll see if he's going to go. He's been having a tough time, but
the only other guy that we saw flipping his board was Pedro, though. So,
and we don't normally see that.
No, and so it didn't seem to give him that much of an advantage. But if Curren can do those big airs and do a couple or just one flip trick, it's gonna help.
Andy Mack using the whole course.
Whoa, ice plant up on the keg. That's the closest you're ever going to see Andy Mack get to a keg of beer.
50-50 stall, grabbing it and throwing it in. Andy Mack throwing his hands up there. This is X Games Munich, heat number 2. In Skateboard Park, top 3 skaters are going to go through to the final. We're unsure at the moment. It's only been one run. Stick around. We are going to have lots more action in Skateboard Park. Ben Hatchell is up. Halfway through the second runs, we have 10 minutes to go.
So far, Ben has the highest score of this whole heat. So looks like he's turning it up a little bit, blasting over every hip.
which is really no surprise as well, because he's always up there in the top 3, isn't he?
Yeah, usually, but sometimes he does that in qualifying, and then, you know, we don't see him go through in the finals like in Barcelona, but then he did get hurt there.
We didn't see any transfers in the first heat. We've seen Andy MacDonald and Ben Hatchell transferring from big bowl into the small and vice versa.
This is a solid run right here.
And that's time using all of the time there. Rune Glifberg also wanting to get 40 seconds of skating under his belt.
Whoa, huge frontside ollie in the deep end there.
So confident on those. And it doesn't go to vert in that deep end, so it's even harder to do a frontside ollie like that,
it's
right?
deceiving. I mean, it looks like it should just be a standard vert wall, but when you actually look at it, it's almost like a mini ramp wall, so they have to ollie way out if they're going to get any height.
Frontside tail slide from Rune in the deep end. Another frontside ollie over the hip.
Nose blind. Oh, no. Foot slipping off the nose there.
Curren Caples. Pulling over. Boneless.
That is a big flat bank up there, too. It's a flat bank hip. Oh, there's that nose blind that Rune wanted. He's a teammate. It's all right. He can do that. Oh, kickflip, frontside air in the deep end. That will increase your score. Is that what his dad was talking about?
Yes, that's what his dad was talking about.
Well, then he does listen to his parents.
Welcome back to X Games in Munich. Heat number 2 is right underway in Skateboard Park. Top 3 skaters from the heat will move on to the final. Pedro Barros, the gold medalist from the last 2 X Games, is already into the final. He was in heat number 1. This is heat number 2, and Andy MacDonald is going for his 3rd run right now with a Smith grind around the deep end corner.
Oh, there's another kickflip. Kickflip Andy in the deep end. And that's way harder than on a vert ramp because there really is no vert in that deep end, even though it looks like there is.
Going for a boneless. Maybe that's the boneless wall, just like we had in Barcelona.
It is.
Another transfer, Andy Mack using up the whole 40 seconds.
Solid run. Raven needs to get a whole run under his belt. That is not going to be it.
So at the moment, we've got 63 each for Curren Caples and Ben Hatchell. Andy Mack sitting in the 3rd position with a 51. Things could definitely change, though. We've got Glifberg and Tershy in 4th and 5th.
You can tell Ben is increasing the difficulty and the height in this run. Oh, look at that Smith grind all the way around the corner, throwing to a 5-0.
Backside decker.
Oh, wow.
Nearly hanging up there.
That was
on
really
that back
not
truck.
safe at all. Trying to go over the spine.
That is the worst feeling in the world, especially
Yeah.
when you know you want to just take it in because you've got a contest line.
Whoa, go for a blunt on the keg.
Let's take a look at that Smith grind from Ben Hatchell.
All the way around the corner, and then when he actually gets around the corner, lifts up his front truck, goes into a 5-0.
He just started to slow up there.
For style points.
Rune back in. He's going to try and up his score for sure. He's got to get in that top 3 to make it through to the final. So he's going to have to increase the difficulty.
Oh, missing that nose one every time.
That's a big wall to be doing a nose one on. You just missed up in the back there, the far on it. Kickflip over the channel into an alley-oop and then to a kickflip 50-50. Curren is really starting to warm up right now.
Blasting over the channel. Going for that chicken wing frontside air.
Tony, this has to be his best run so far.
Yeah, this will put him in the lead if he stays on here. just effortlessly. Oh, frontside kickflip over the hip to alley-oop frontside line. This is going to be the best score.
This has to be the best score. Curren Caples only been on the podium once before. 40 medals. Wow. Curren.
Look at that. Kickflip 50-50. What a great start. And then this frontside flip over the hip. Caught so clean.
3 kick flips in the one run, and as you can see, it's really scoring. He does not seem to be having trouble.
There's Andy.
He's really,
like I said earlier, that's the closest Andy gets to a keg. By doing a foot plant on him.
over the spine. Andy MacDonald. Raven Tershy. Just jumping off over the keg.
Having a tough one.
Maybe not the first time he's been next to a keg. Ben Hatchell. The 66 at the moment. Curren right out in front with an 82.
Nice backside tail slide around the corner, frontside hurricane. Yeah, Ben looks like he just wanted to get a couple of decent runs under his belt.
Oh, just holding on to that.
Is that a heel flip? Kick flip.
Wow.
Couldn't tell from there.
It's a tough angle.
Either way, it was extremely difficult.
Oh, feeble to fakie.
Feeble to fakie. The old wheel catch.
Luckily, didn't hit his head there coming out of that. Okay, so now it stands. We've only got 3 minutes on the clock. Curren Caples with an 82. Hatchell with a 70, and Andy MacDonald with a 52.
Rune needs to step it up. He's currently not on the bubble. He's actually in the 4th position for this heat. And if he's going to advance, he needs to get a better, to hold a score than 52. Deep end, tailside. This is the same run that we saw before. Needs that nose blunt. Oh, he geeks. Oh, wow. He opted not to do nose blunt just so he could stay on his board. But I don't know if that's going to be enough. Nice tricky grind to fakie in the deep end.
Curren Caples straight back into it. His score of 44 was 8 points higher than anyone else's.
Whoa, wow. And with Rune's last run, he put himself ahead of Andy MacDonald. He is now in the 3rd position.
It's a score that he definitely wanted. Current #1. Curren Caples only been on the podium once before. Frontside nose grind into the hip. Nose blind.
Nice.
Wow. Yeah,
such a tricky
going to alley-oop just there.
Yeah, just a difficult angle coming up that way.
I like this one. Really using that.
It's a good run, but I don't think it's going to top his 44. Still going to be in 1st, though.
Do you think it could beat his 38?
I don't know. It's going to be close. But right there, that nose blunt alley-oop almost.
Throwing it down to Decker.
Yeah, no time in that area. What we call the, what are we calling that?
Okay, so that did beat
there we go. Okay.
Curren's worst score. It was a 38, and it bumped him up to a 40. So overall, he's 84, sitting in the #1 position.
Now, Andy has 2 26s. He's doing the same run that gave him those 26s right now, so he has to step up in difficulty if he's going to try to bump Rune out of that 3rd position. And it's not looking like it right now. There's a big transfer, though. Oh, missing it. I don't think that's going to work.
Right now, this is the last run. So that was the last run for Andy MacDonald. He's in 4th. He's not going to be able to change. Oh, frontside nose grind around the corner.
It's a rollout. He's still in, though.
Do you think it's possible for Raven to try and make it into that top three.
He can't. Not with the current scores he's holding now.
So this is how it's going to go down. Top three guys, Caples, Hatchell, and Glifberg. It could change between those three, but those three are definitely going through to the final.
Here's Rune. Looks like Rune kind of already knows that he's in the final. He's not going to risk it. And Curren's going to take a victory run
And
for his first place finish into the finals.
some amazing skating.
I mean, yeah, his couple runs were amazing.
For not loving the course yesterday, he seems to be doing quite fine. Riding for Hurley and flip skateboards.
Oh.
So that is it. He's got... That is it. That's X Games Munich Skateboard Park Elimination Round. Heat number 2 done and dusted. Brad McLean taking the #1 position in heat number 1. Pedro number 2, and then Kevin Kowalski. There is how it stands. Heat number 1 and 2. Wow. Tony, that was some... I mean, it looked like it was a final out there.
It was. Curren way ahead there. You know, this could be the one that is going to give Pedro a run for his money, because these guys are killing it.
That is Curren Caples, our leader right now. Let's take a look at the athletes for Real Street X Games.